The outcome of practical life and the morals. Knowledge is not much learning, but understanding of the metaphysics truth was a compelling motive of thinkers of Upanyas. So, knowledge is not about learning, but to understanding. Because of theoretical importance of knowledge is a period of speculative activity. It is because of the discretion of the popular of politicizes religion of philosophy reasoning. Philosophy reasoning is important that took place in India during the times of Upanyas movement, similar into which produced and sophisticated Greece, namely unsettling of accepted ethics and substitute of knowledge for the religions and morality. So, so the philosophical reasoning is so important, and that took place during the Upanyas period. And that is what the sophisticated Greece, namely to unsettling of accepted ethics and substitution of knowledge for religion and morality. So that knowledge has been substituted for the thing of okay, this is ethics, this is knowledge. Knowledge was the one objective of supreme value, a irresistible means of obtaining one's end. So one's always purpose is to accept knowledge. This idea of the worth and efficacy of knowledge is expressed again and again throughout the Upanyas, not only in the connection with philosophical speculation, but also in the practical affairs of life. This is the knowledge is ultimate. That is what's said in all part of Upanyas. That Udgatri praised who's known this, whatever desires he desires, either for himself or for the sacrificer, that he obtains by singing. So the Uthari also say that what he desires is get. So the what he should desire is knowledge that was being said, and that by giving sacrifice and singing, he is always in the intention of acquiring knowledge. This indeed is a world conquering. The whole world, whenever there is a fivefold, he obtains a whole world who knows this. So the person who want to control the whole world, first he need to accept the knowledge that was been said by the Brihat. He Indra, he without the rival, he who knows this has no rival. So he want to get without a rival, he has no rival. That is, without the knowledge, has nothing. He say the whoever strives, the one who knows this and desire rise up and finally dies. Whoever strives with the one who knows this and rise up and finally dies. So they know who has the knowledge to know that whoever born will die. He knows this mythological of a tree to becomes the eater of everything and everything becomes his food. So when he becomes, this is what said with knowledge ways. When he know the knowledge is food, he can eat every knowledge. He knows the wonderful beings or the firstborn, and namely Brahma is the real conqueror of these worlds. Would he be conquered? Who knows the great spirit as the firstborn, namely the Brahma is the real. So then after they come of the Brahma is been linked with the knowledge. So knowledge comes first. That's what he's saying. As a lump of clay would fall to pieces in striking against the solid stone, he so fall to pieces he who wishes evil to one who knows this, and he too who injures him, such a one as a solid stone. Everything said is a knowledge. He who knows a Brahma is a real as knowledge, as the infinity. He obtains all desire. So he who knows the knowledge is real, then the Brahma is real. At the way the infinite is also real. Then when he thinks a real knowledge is everything is important, then he obtains all he desires. Whatever he requests, everything will come. Only when he accepts knowledge is a real thing. He who knows the food which is established as food becomes established on food becomes established. He became a eater of food and possessing food. He becomes great in offspring in cattle in the splendor and sacred knowledge, great in fame. Whatever he desire, he becomes that. When he thinks food is great, then he will think food is great. He will acquire all the kind of food and he will become great. When he think offsprings are great, he will get all kind of offspring. When he think cattle is great, he will get all kind of cattle. When he get knowledge is great, he will get all the knowledge. That's explanation. Wherever conquest in Brahma, what whether attain the conquest he conquer, then attain the he attain, he knows this. Verily, indeed, if upon one who knows of both mountains should roll themselves forth, but the southern and the northern despair shall lay him low. Indeed, they should not lay him low. So they are directing north and south, so he should not lay them low. So we sure that has been different connection. But those who hate him and those who he himself hates, those all dies around him. So when you hate the knowledge, the person who you think knowledge is bad, then he will die. That's what being said. He verily, who knows that Supreme Brahma is the family, no one ignorant of Brahma rises. If you think that knowledge in his family and no one in, and if you think knowledge is family, all the person in your family became knowledgeable. When you ignore them, all you become stupid. So frequently on the statement of describing the invulnerable and omnipotent of he whom who passes on the magic talisman, the Ya Evan Veda, he who knows this. Because the most frequently recurring places of all Upanishads. Besides the practical value of the knowledge and the speculative value previously desired that's attained by the ideal unity of the reality, knowledge who always mark the ethical value. So wherever the speculative or unspeculative, everything desired is attained only by knowledge. Knowledge is everything. It is not worth how extreme valuation is put on upon this kind of knowledge produce a reaction within the period of opinions themselves. So to understanding knowledge is in forfeit. It's been said it's very important. The license of overriding the prescribed usage of religion and customs which is possessor of knowledge claimed by himself is distinctly denied in Maitri on the point that four customary stage of life is every Orthodox Hindu, through discredit of which revenues of priests are seriously diminished. As regarding speculative knowledge of Atman, so apprehensions by means of human knowledge is opposed by the doctrine of Prasada, and grace in the Katha. You don't think that the knowledge is Prasada, knowledge is Brahma. The Brahmas, whenever you acquire knowledge, is going a path to Brahma. It's not a Prasada. Through the grace of the Creator, he beholds the great of Atman. So, with the help of the Creator, you can attain the God. It is only with the help of knowledge you can attain them. It is all by the means of grace, according to the sweet, by the individual obtains a release from illusion and reach immortality. So, with the help of the knowledge, you can reach immortality. Immortal. In the Brahma, wheel of soul flutter about, thinking that itself and the acquitter are different. When favored by him, attains immortal. And even more explicitly, denial of Brahma doctrine is in Kapakalpa, and where a strict, a galvanizing doctrine of election is anticipated. The soul is not obtained by instruction, not by intellect, not by learning. He is to be obtained only by one who he chooses. To such one, that soul reveals his one person. So, how the soul has been selected is not by some instruction. Then it is not by intelligence, it is not by learning. It is obtained only by one whom he chooses. So what the path you choose? If you choose knowledge, you choose the soul. In such a one, soul reveals is one person. So if what you have chosen is reflecting in the person. If you choose a knowledge, it will choose that not the soul will take and it will bring you knowledge. The a possessor of knowledge is freed even now from all the evil deed as well as from the later physiological result of doing any deed. When you possess knowledge, even every deed will be removed. Even you have done misdeed, it will be removed. Verily, indeed, even if they lay very much very low, wood on fire, it burns at well. So even though if you acquire knowledge, even your wood will burn. Even so, one who knows this, although he commits a very much evil, consume it all and becomes clean and pure, ageless and immortal. Even he did the cruel evil when he acquire knowledge continuously, everything will become clean and pure and ageless and immortal. The Brihatta said the Brahma is a lightning Vidya, and they say because of unloosing Vidya, lightning unloose him from the evil, and who knows this Brahma is lightning. Always say lightning is a Brahma, and Brahma will help you to clean everything when you go on the path of knowledge. The blender of the gold, the liquor maker, the invader of teachers, bed, the Brahma's killer, Brahman killer. The planter of gold, the person who goes behind the gold will die. The liquid drinker who always drunk he will die. Invader of teacher's bed, who goes behind the wife of teachers, he will die. The Brahman killer. The knowledge will dead. Knowledge will be dead if you go against three things: gold, drink, and sex. There are four things downwards in the scale. The fifth, he who constitutes with themselves. And he who knows this five fires, the five fire doctrine, Panchagnividya, Panchagnividya, this is not a sustain with evil, even though consorted with the people. He becomes pure, he becomes clean, he becomes possessor of pure world, and who knows this? He who knows this. As a Rashri laid on the firewood, he pumped, even so is bound up all the evils of him who offers Agnihotra sacrifice. Knowing this, he who understand me, Indra is a speaker representing Atma. He who understand me, the Indra, said by Indra, by one deed, whatsoever of his worldly injured, not by stealing, not by killing an embryo, not by murder of his mother, not by murder of his father, not by done any evil, a dark color depart not from his face, and ethical theory has been compared to Socratic doctrine of identify the knowledge and virtue. There is a wide difference because between the Upanyatic theory and the theory of Greek says that a man who has known the knowledge should thereby become virtuous in character, or by result of teaching should be virtuous in life. So, if a person is not an worldly injured, he doesn't enjoy the world. He is not stealing. He is not killing any child or in embryo stage. Not kill his mother and his father. Not done any evil thing. And the dark color depends on not from his face. So even everybody is dark. His thinking is in his pure knowledge perspective. If he do so, he can attain that. It's said by Brahm. It is he can attain the Brahma. Who said this is said by the Indra. Here, the possession of the some metaphysics knowledge actually cancels all past sins and even permits a novice unblushingly to continue in what seems to be much evil. With a perfect impunity, although such acts as heinous crimes or disastrous in the effect of others and who lacks a kind of knowledge. So lacking knowledge is evil, but the unpurgeable licentiousness of early Upanyas could not long continue. So this kind of thing could not continue. It probably went to excess for the middle of the period of sternly denounced God conduct declared that the equal request with knowledge. He who has not understanding, who is unmindly and even impure, reaches not the goal but goes into transmigration. He, whoever who has understanding, who is mindful, he whoever we reach the goal from which he is born no more. And who is born more and who is not born more is said. The one should have understanding. If not understanding, he will born again. Who's mindful, always think what he going to do. He mindful. If not, he will be born again. Who is impure, he's clean himself interior and outside. If not, he will be born again. Reaches not the goal. So if he not done that, you have a small goal, you should reach it, complete all the goal. If he not reach the goal, he will born again. But if he reaches the goal, whatever he reaches, then he will not born again. Not he who has not ceased from the bad conduct can obtain him by intelligence. Bad conduct is bad. You have a bad friend, he is doing bad things, that's bad. But if you have good intelligence, you can do. The early conception of knowing was also the continuing of evil unharmed and true only so far as express the idea of knowledge and exempt from evil. Knowledge is exempt from evil. One should be familiar with it, but sorting it, one should not stained by evil action. He should know what is evil, but by knowing it, he should not do it. If he do it, he is bad. But knowing the knowledge of evil is not bad, but doing it is bad. As a water adheres not the leaf, the lotus for so evil action adheres not to him who knows this. If you whatever when you pour water in the lotus leaf, it does not a single drop of water stays in the lotus. Such a way should be there. This thought recurs in Maitri and is another simile. Prachanna, as a snake is freed from a skin, even so verily is he freed from sin. So The snake who removes his claw not removes his evilness. It is always a snake as a snake, it will bite. Still, another smell is used to drive home the same thoughts. As to the mountain that inflamed, deer and worm do not resort. So with the Brahma novas, falls do never any shelter find. I agree. The consistent pantheistic conception, however, the relation of knowledge and mortal evil of the knowledge exempts from both the good and evil and elevates and lowers altogether from the region of mortal distinction to higher one where there is no operative. The knowledge is great. Such one, the very lead, the though does not torment. Why have I not done the good? Why have I done the evil? Such torment, if you acquire you doing the bad thing, you should recover from the God is watching you, you can change. He who knows this save himself from the thought, and truly from both of the saves himself, and he who knows this. Whenever you do a thing and your inner thought saying you are doing bad things, then you are on the path of God. God is watching you. So be careful, change your attitude. He truly, from both of this, he saves himself and he knows this. Those who do not overcome either the thought, hence I did not, not the thought, hence I did right. Verily overcomes them both. What he has done and what he has not done do not affect it. When a seer sees the brilliant maker or potentate person, the Brahma shows then being a knower, shaking off the good and evil, stainless, and attain the supreme identity. You find something, you will reach something. And the seer sees the brilliant maker and a brilliant person, the brilliant Brahma source. Then, being the knower, shake off the good and evil, the stainless, and he attained the supreme identity. If you see something, you should acquire that. From the the emanification on the unreal, enter into the real. The reason is that the knower, good and evils are competition of partial knowledge, which are no longer held in the light of full knowledge. They are only in verbal distinction. Verily, if there is no speech, neither right nor wrong, would be nowhere or neither no neither true or false, neither good or bad, neither pleasant or unpleasant. Speak indeed makes all this known. Speakers always should be there, pleasant and unpleasant, goods and bad, everything should be there. If there are no speech, then there is nothing there. The world is a reality. Brahma world is to which true knower is admitted, and is devoted all the distinction, pleasant and unpleasant, which is empirical real, but transcendental is unreal. So only the person who has knowing, admitted, and devoted everything, and is good, true knowledge seeker can only go to the Brahma world and became a part of Brahma. If not, he will be transcendental. That is, he will be born again. According that, the world is free from the ethical distinction of good and evil. And over the bridge where they cross neither day nor night, nor old age, nor death, nor sorrow, nor well doing, nor evil doing. Everything is fair there. All evil turns back there from, and from the Brahma world is free from evil. When you do Brahma, everything is free. Here goes a world that is what heat without a cold. Therein the devils and eternal earth. Eternal years. When there is no darkness, then there is no day and no night, and not being, or not non-being. Only the kindly one alone. Always the kindly one alone. An over of Brahma. Upon the Brahma goes on, he comes to the river of Vajra, ageless.
This is a crosses with the mind alone. There is a shakes of a good deed and a evil deed. The dear relative succeed to the good deeds, those non dear is evil deeds. Then just as one driving in the chariot looked upon the two chariot wheel which is revolution does not touch. Then he looks down upon the day and night, and upon the good deeds and the evil deeds, upon the pairs of a portion. This one devoted great good deeds, devoted the evil deeds are known Brahma, upon the great Brahma goes on. The same ethical position held in Atman theory, the great old, the great Atman itself. Apart from the right one and apart from the upright, apart from what they have done and what they have been doing, apart from what have been and what is to be. As a sun, the eye of the whole world, it is shunned by the external fault of the eyes. So the inner soul of all being is not sold by the evil of the world being external to it. The bright, the bodiless, the scratchless, the sin wise, the pure and unpure of will. This idea is Atman world is free from the evil and sin from the impurity, blameless, spotless, which is expressed in numerous epithets and detached faces who received an epithological justification. In the beginning of the world was a soul in the forms of person since before the world born of all evil, therefore a person. Atma is being and void of all ethical distinction and knower who by the knowledge become Atman like a wise transcend them in the union in them. As a man, when he embraces the beloved wife, because knows nothing within the person, when he embraces the intelligent soul, known though nothing within without. Verily, that is true form. That is, a father becomes not a father, and mother is not a mother. The world is not the world. The gods are not the god. Vedas are not Vedas, and thief is not a thief. Therefore, that is no true. That is no us in the Brahma world. In spite of non-attributable moral qualities to the world ground by a theoretical reason, the affirmation of the practical reason is postulating a moral order. Is the heart of Supreme is to observe the two passage of the Upanishads. He is not followed by good, he is not followed by the evil, not he is passed beyond the sorrow of the heart. Ethical theory is that far apart, which is based on the epistemological realism of Upanishads. I did not like the theory of reality suffer any changes by the transition of idealism, but rather than conforming into the illusion of the external world and external soul that needs to reach an effort will serve only to prove illusion on all activity, whatever when the goods and evil deed makes up that activity. Their sleep is the nearest approach to real existence. An individual is in sleep only, and appearing to think, appearing to move about, in a state of sleep, having and traveling around and seeing good and bad, and fast and after, according to the entrance of place of origin, back the state of walking. Whatever he is threes, there is a dreaming sleep. He is not following it by the person without attachment. He is there actually reaches the real and therefore it's not affected by the ethical distinction which are aligned to the nature. Now when one is thus sound asleep and composed a scream, he knows no dream. So no evil touch him for them and he reaches the bright power. So the final goal of metaphysical speculation that the practical attainment of supreme and imperishable value was a soul, the larger soul which was a ground in the individual soul's all existence. The self is dear, that is the sun, the dearer the wealth, the dearer than all, and since the self is nearer, he should search out and him one should desire the understanding. Among many Kantian ideas, the tuition finding Upanishads has a striking one connection, namely the final goal, a perfect condition of human soul anatomy. See the Swaraj of Chand and Swarajya of the Tait. By the assumption of autonomy held very differently from the idea of anatomy person, such a full control of the self that never be passion disobeys a moral law As I indicated the following sentence, he has unchecked sway of all the world. Ideal of anatomy is the unending liberty to do what one's will. The same is a condition of perfect bliss describes a tale. The condition the successful aspirant goes up and down the world, eating what he desires, assuming what he desires. Also, the probable possible based on a psychological factors in the sleep of moral sense and appearing greatly awakened. However, beautiful as a doctrine was in the theory, it might be very easy to be misunderstood and misapplied in practice, as indeed it was then Virokchana, who is said that have been lived in the pupil with Prajapati of 32 years. After receiving instruction from the self which is free from the evil, ageless, deathless, sorrowless, hungerless, thirstless, who desire is a real, this conception is real, he went forth and declared the following doctrine. Oneself is to make happy here on the earth, oneself is waited upon. He who makes merely himself happy here on the earth, who waits upon himself, obtains both world, the world of the younger. Such utter selfishness of the fourth with condemned by the author, who comments, therefore, even one year, now here on earth, they say that one who is not a giver, who is not a believer, who is not a sacrificer, if one should give and one should believe and one should sacrifice. Those three things are him. If not, he is devilish. And this devilish the doctrine of devil. The Prajapati also regret a fully declared. Whoever shall have such a mystic doctrine by they good gods and they and by he be they evil shall perish. So one should be a sacrificer, one should be a believer, one should be a giver. And only the three things will sustain. The same mistaken ethical theory might be gathered from the Yajnavalkya advice of Maitri Brihat in the Atman of translating self and ego not by the love of wife and a wife is dear, but the love of the soul, a wife is a dear. Similarly, not the love of the sons, not the love of the wealth, not the love of the Brahman class, the Kshatriyas class, or the world, or the gods, or things, or anything in the deer, but the love of the soul that the deer. So don't love everything. Only the soul's love is important, not the life of the Brahma life. You love, love the soul. The true love is a love. This is not the modern psychological doctrine that may be not design anything itself, but only the pleasantness of the self understanding of possession by the things yield upon us. Nor the Yajna Valkya advocating the alteration doctrine that all the love and the apparent altruism and would be self love and selflessness. So all love is self love. We love ourselves and selflessness. Nothing we don't take anything selfish. The central idea is rather than all the objects are not separate entities, themselves a value to us. It's a very value to us. But that they are all the faces of the world self, and that is common everyday experience having affection of others to find illustrate the great doctrine of individual self-finding and selfhood grounded in the reach out toward the large self, empowering all the individuals in all things. So the thing is, we should be self-loving and selflessness and experiencing everything in affection. And don't find within this grounded, don't find and embrace all living beings. Don't show distinctions. With the liberal interpretation of Vijnavalkya advices to Maitri, so far the contains ethical theory at present. The high water marks of Upanyasa. Practical ethics are certainly not that high. The general teaching is already presented, namely, the moral distinction do not obtain from the man who is metaphysical knowledge. This is the influence affected by the Bhagavad Gita, the popular book of religion of meditation in which Krishna, the divine incarnation, quells the scruples of Arjuna over the murdering of the enemies in the Upanyatic assurance. If the slayer thinks to slay, you slay. If the clean thinks himself clean, you clean. Both those understood understand not. This one slays not as clean.